Hello, my name is Mark and welcome to I'm Organic Gardening, located in Zone 6B in the state of New Jersey. And a few weeks ago I asked you in a video what you thought about the woven landscape fabric that's behind me. Is it safe to use in organic gardening? And I got a lot of great answers from everybody. Some are for it, some are against it, some think it might leach, and this gave me a direction to do more research in or about this product. And the product I'm using is from a company called DeWitt. It's spelled D-E-W-I-T-T. Now, also is this fabric is also woven. It's just not a single plastic sheet that goes on the ground. It's a woven fabric, and the idea behind the woven fabric, it lets water go through the fabric and also lets air go through the fabric, which is important to our soil health. Now, again, it's plastic, and what you're saying to yourself, Mark, why use any type of plastic that's in the garden? Well, I've been doing the research, and I personally only use it in cases that I have to use it because I can't get leaf mold or leaves delivered. Last year, a lot of people were asking me, like, Mark, why didn't you get leaves last year? Because all the people in my township, or the workers in the township that collect the leaves for me and bring them to my farm here, my 22-acre farm, they got COVID. Not all of them, but more than half got COVID, and the other half had to be quarantined anywhere from 2 weeks up to, say, a month. And that put a huge strain on me getting full leaves. Now, why not use wood chips? They're natural also too. Now, the wood chips are great if you can get them. I have a company now that are willing to buy them from the landscapers, and the reason why is because they're going to turn those wood chips either into mulch, which is extremely high in price here, colored mulch to put around people's homes, and they're paying like $10 or $15 a truckload now. And also, it's just easy for them to drop those wood chips off at this processing plant than to actually come to individual places like myself. Now, the other part is, now we covered leaves I rarely can get, or couldn't get them last year. And number two is wood chips. Now, number three, why not use cardboard? Yes, cardboard is a very interesting thing, but I'm going to show you at the end of the video, or towards the end of the video, that cardboard is just as unsafe maybe as the woven fabric that's behind me. And again, I've been doing this research for a long time now, about maybe say 10 months to a year, and I'm surprised that this cardboard, or most cardboard that's recycled, has plastic in it. Because and that's the most important thing that's also with the landscape fabric. There's two concerns about it. Those two concerns are, is it the fabric leaching something, or the plastic fabric leaching something in my soil? And you would think that it would because it's plastic. But also, the other concern is microplastic. Microplastic is when it's chopped up or starts degrading from the sun and whatever too. Now, the fabric behind me is UV resistant. But all particles come from, or when it breaks down, those plastic particles go into our soil. Now, is it harmful? We don't know. We've been dealing with plastic since what, 1940 or 1950, when it started coming out in a lot of different things. But if you notice around here, and behind me, I have an electric fence made out of plastic. Now, that is degrading also too. So the fine particles on that plastic fence are falling into my soil. So whether it's fabric sitting on the ground, or my plastic fence, or my house has vinyl siding, which is over to my left here, to your right. Now, that's covered with vinyl siding. Now, all that vinyl is heating up in the sunshine all the time, and also degrading. It's also falling apart. Now, those microparticles of plastic are, if the wind blows it correctly, are blowing onto my farm and into my fields. Rubber tires that are on the roadway are, let's say, reducing the amount of rubber. Now, it's not real rubber, it's synthetic rubber. Now, all those particles are up in the air. Now, I don't want to depress anybody or anything else either too, but we are surrounded surrounded by a lot of material that's in our air, that's blown in. And for example, how much this stuff can travel, you can read in articles on Google. There's sand that comes up from the Arabian desert that actually has traveled to as far as way, or traveled across and into Florida and surrounding areas, and even up to my area and also to England. You know, when you have forest fires and the smoke travels all those places too. Now that's burning. We are stewards of this planet, of ourselves. Now I love to reduce all this and do something better, but the reason I'm using, again, the fabric behind me is I'm torn between two things. The fabric is actually, with these last 3 storms, and I've had it down, it's not letting my soil erode, and it's also weed control. So how do I make a living on my farm if I don't use something like that? And now in a gardener, you're small, but we're also just putting this down for 2 months out of the year. And that's another thing. So there's all different situations that evolve using this material. And you're going to decide on your own which you feel more comfortable at your own soul, looking into protecting this planet and everything else too. But it's just amazing how much plastic is around us and how much we use it daily. We can't get away from it. When we go to the hospital, the masks, the shields, the IV line, the IV bottle, the needle, the syringe has a plastic thing that screws onto the needle or onto the shot that they're going to give you. Now all that is plastic. It's also hazardous waste, and it hopefully goes in the safe spot. But we feel that it also is important to discuss this. And what is the end result? We don't know. Like I said, it's been going on for almost 70 years now that we've had plastic in our environment and what it's doing to us. I don't know if I know it's in our system. I've actually seen reports out of Canada where they take a water bottle that you buy water and they test it, and the filters today can't even get the microplastic out, and inside that water that somebody was buying is plastic particles in there that they're drinking. Now again, I don't want to alarm anybody. I've never heard of anybody that has got injury from plastic. It doesn't mean that we should do it. We should be concerned about it. But again, I can't find the research where somebody has actually had a huge problem about this. Now, all this is done because behind me I spent $75 for a roll that's 4 feet wide, 300 feet long. And what that does is saves me time and effort. Now also, I want to grow vegetables. I don't want to be weeding all the time. Now I'm giving you both sides. Now for $75, and it's going to last for let's say 5 years, I'm only spending $15 for, let's say, 2 months in my fall garden that I'm planting up here. That's going to stop a lot of weeds from growing, because the weather is constantly changing. Again, I don't want my soil to erode. I have this beautiful soil here, as you can see, and I just don't want that to go away. So that's why I need to cover it. Now, there's also, and I want to talk about this too, a lot of people say, why don't you use those rolls of paper? I do, and I have in the past, that organic paper that I've showed on other videos. Now the only problem is those rolls are double the cost of this fabric behind me, and only lasts maybe 2 months or 3 months, and then it goes away. How can we constantly just give money to something that is, let's say, it might be the right thing to do, but who has that kind of money to spend $130 a year on that roll that's about the same width and same length, and it goes away? And to me, it's taking away from my effort and my goal here. Now I pay, and the reason I bring this up is because it is about money sometimes. I pay over close to $14,000 a year in land taxes on my property, and that includes the farm. Now, I don't get any break, and people say about crop insurance and all that other stuff. Vegetable farmers don't cannot get crop insurance. So if we lose a crop, we lose a crop. There's no way. Crop insurance is for the big farms that grow corn, one type of crop, that type of thing. I want to say that. So let me show you the facts that I got, and again, you don't have to agree with any of this. I'm just sharing and educating myself the way I look at things and sharing with you. Now we have a better view of the landscaping fabric I put down. Woven landscape fabric, like I said, is important. It's not a solid plastic sheet. The air and water goes through it. Now I'm only using this landscape fabric or woven landscape fabric as a walkway. I'll be walking on the black fabric here and here and here. Now I have these exposed rows here that are about maybe say 8 inches wide down here, and I can directly seed in them hopefully within the next day or two. I'm behind 3 weeks, but it's okay. A lot of these crops are ready for me in like 30 days. Like say beets take longer, but they will get planted up over here underneath the screen, like way in the back of the garden there, and I'll work my way forward. Now beets, I'm not so worried about the beet itself. It's delicious, but I enjoy the beets greens. That's what I enjoy most out of the beets. Now, and there's baby lettuce we can do. Carrots might take longer, but worst case scenario, all this can get covered here in the rows with hoop, and I can get past my first frost date maybe if it freezes, and it won't take the crop away from me. And my frost date here is about October 15th, give or take. Now, the way the crazy weather is lately, it's gonna be insane. So it might freeze 2 weeks from now, and it might freeze 2 months from now, so I don't know. But there's a couple techniques that I'm doing here. I'm using plastic panels, again plastic, to hold the fabric down, and also on the other side here, on this side, on your left here, is we have boards holding that down. Now I'm using this because I'm in a high wind area, of course. Now with this high wind that I have, I can use something like landscape staples, and I'll show you that. And I'm not against them, and it's probably the cheapest method to use. Just with all this wind lately hitting 40, 50, 60 miles an hour, I wanted something more stable to hold the fabric down, because those landscaping staples that hold it down, if the wind gets underneath and starts vibrating that woven fabric, it will pull out. So let me show you what I'm talking about with the staples. So here I have a landscaping staple. It's about 6 inches long. Let me pull this out. Now it's about 6 inches long and about maybe an inch wide here. Now you can see here that it's quite easy for me to push in my soil. So if some wind comes along and tries to move this fabric, it will pull this up and pull it out of the way. And there's nothing like your fabric blowing away, especially you did all the work on laying it down. So I'm trying to use something else more stable, and I've tried different methods on my farms over the years with this woven landscape fabric. It's a good to have a combination or a backup, because time is money for me here on my farm. And here I'm trying something different also too. I have 2 2x4s laying down on the edge so the wind doesn't get underneath it, and I'm also trying 2x8s over here that are 8 foot long, and so are the 2x4s. Now obviously it's not a good year to try wood, but maybe later on next year they'll go down in price again too. But all this has doubled this year, and it's slowly coming down in price. But again, I want to see what's available to me and what I can use that's more cost efficient and also easy to remove at the end of the year. Before I take you inside and show you a couple things on the computer here, we all use plastic trays or plastic pots. Yes, they are free from other environmental problems, and I appreciate the companies doing that for us, but we always come in contact. This is a harvest tray. Actually, this tray comes out of Holland. It used to carry tulips, and that's what usually these trays are for export of tulip bulbs out of Holland, and other people use it for other things also. But it's usually a harvest tray, we call it, and we use them to collect our product out of the field, put in there so we can wash it. We don't have to worry worry about diseases staying on the plastic. But we all come in contact, like I said, with these plastic pots, plastic trays. Anything we do here is plastic. So I'm on the computer now, and I went to a website called OMRI. It's up here in the corner, OMRI, and that stands for Organic Material Review Institute. This is a group of people that get together that have all kinds of backgrounds, including farmers, and they discuss what products are certified organic, and they do research on it. So it's a site that everybody has to go to if you're a certified organic farmer, and these are items that are listed that you can use on your certified organic farm. And it's, again, you can find it at omri.org. Now we're going to scroll down here like so, and we're going to go to plastic mulches and covers here. You can see that right there. Now, plastic mulches and covers, it says you can use it, and they reactivated at, or mentioned it again in 2020, and it's for crop pests, weed, and disease control. Plastic mulches and covers. Now, what's interesting, and I want to show you this too, I'm going to scroll back up here. Now, paraffin road cover. So let's open this up for a second and bring that up. Now, what I want to show you in here, now this is what I was taught about 10 years ago. Now, road covers, you can see here descriptions. Use of polyvinyl chloride as plastic mulch and road covers are prohibited. So you can use anything except polyvinyl. That's a bad thing. So if your product's made out of polyvinyl, you do not want to do that because it's prohibited. Now there's something that might leach out of that and cause more problems. So now we're going to see what our DeWitt fabric cover is made out of. Now I moved over to the Amazon website, and this is where I purchased the Sunbelt DeWitt fabric from that I'm using in this video. Now if you look underneath product info, the first line right there says the DeWitt Sunbelt 3.2 ounce polypropylene fabric. And that's what it is made out of. So it's not what the other concerns through OMRI organic website is saying that you shouldn't use. This is polypropylene fabric. Now I want to talk to you about cardboard boxes. It's just maybe as toxic as the landscape or woven landscape fabric that's behind me. Now, it's very important to understand something here. And like I said, I've been doing this research for quite some time. Now, we're talking brown cardboard that was always put in the garden because we don't want to use color cardboard that has a glossier matte finish. We know that's not good. And we should always take our tape off here. That doesn't go in our garden. And also, our shipping label is also important to remove before we use cardboard. Now, cardboard has been used by lots of people in the United States and all over the world to suppress weeds. It goes down first. So, in my research, and don't shoot me for this, is what happens when we take cardboard. Now we remove the plastic and also the shipping label on this before it goes into our garden. But what happens that's inside this box already or inside the cardboard itself? How safe is that? So now when we put this out for recycling and they pick it up, goes in the truck and it goes to a recycling center. Now they take this box and they check through things if there's any other plastic bottles that maybe somebody threw in it, and colored cardboard, that type of thing, and they separate it. And it goes down a conveyor line, and these people are standing on both sides of the conveyor belt and they're picking through this stuff and then throwing the things that are not good out of the way. But they're not peeling off the tape and they're not peeling off the label. So that goes with the cardboard to the end of the line. It falls off the conveyor belt and it goes into a shredder. Now this shredder is kind of a bulk shredder. It's not like you're take a piece of paper and you put it through a shredder and it makes all these little pieces out of it. This box will get, this is about 1 foot wide and 2 feet long. This box here will take let's say, get chopped up into maybe, say, 3 or 4 pieces. It's kind of a big bulk shredder. And then it goes into a pile, and then it gets compressed. And let's say what they do, they make a huge bale out of it. The bale is probably, when they're done, is about 8 feet across and 4 feet high, because it can go into a tractor trailer, that I found out. And they wrap that bale with wire. Now they have a bale of cardboard that weighs maybe 2 tons to 3 tons, depending on the weight of the cardboard. Now that goes off to somebody else, like a recycler, that will take that bale, buy it for a low price, and use it to remake cardboard boxes. And so when it gets to that plant, what they do, they take this whole thing with the tape on it and labels, and they, again, chop it up, and it goes into a bath. And that bath breaks down the cardboard box again into wood pulp or wood fibers, or whatever you want to call it. There's different terms for different people or something like that. But where does that tape go? Where does that label go? It gets chopped up also. A lot of it gets to the top surface and they can skim it off, but that's only about, what I found out, about 50%. The other 50% goes with the wood pulp. They can't separate those small particles of plastic that's been chopped up or broken down or heated up, and all that goes inside the cardboard box when it's made again through that wood pulp. Now, it's not always 100% recycled box. They actually have to add more fiber or more let's say new wood pulp, because the fibers break down too much and they need strength in it. That's why they have double wall boxes and all these other things that they try to produce. Now, inside this box here, I have microparticles of plastic, which I'm going to cut this box and lay it down as a shield in my garden. Now, again, this has been going on for quite some time, and people have been using it, and I don't hear complaints or concerns or anything else either. Again, you heard it here first, but this is something that we have to do more research on. It's not just a simple solution. So the woven ground fabric that's behind me is giving me the same, let's say, concern as my recycled box that I'm using on top of my soil. Now, those rolls of fabric, or those rolls of paper that you see in the big box stores, those are the same situation too. And a lot of them have, let's say, other things inside them. And also the rolls that go underneath wood flooring that people buy that put in their garden, they have antibacteria and antifungi property, because in case you spill something on that floor and it goes down the paper, you don't want that paper to rot and fall apart or smell. That's why they put those certain things in the paper, so you can comfortably not worry about the underlayment of your wood floor smelling or rotting or falling apart. So there is maybe no answer to this that is safe. We try to do our best with all the products that we have. Again, there is a paper out there that you can buy that has, let's say, not been recycled. It comes right from the forest, and it's certified organic and that type of thing too, but it is expensive, and it costs, let's say, double the amount that I have here, but also is that, and I might be repeating myself, but it only lasts that year. And then the fabric behind me can last up to 15 years, or up to 5 years. I want to thank you so very much for watching this video. I know I've gone over a lot of different things and a lot of different opinions from myself. Again, it's your choice, your garden. Do what you think is best. But I just want to again share with you the information that I'm receiving, or it's been sent to me from other people. It's very interesting how we all think what organic gardening truly is. Now, anything you can keep out of your soil is always a benefit, but it also has to be cost effective too. You can't spend $1,000 to grow a tomato if you want to. That's, again, your choice. Now, I'm not trying to change anybody's opinion or anything else either. It's so very important that you make up your own mind, and I'm just here to relay that information to you so you can make the best decision. Again, thanks for watching. I'll see you again shortly with another video, and I always appreciate you watching it and sharing. Thanks, and have a good gardening day.